Actually, I've sent the photographs to all in that the FCPA note is there, but maybe we need it on a lecture. So we won't look at it in that photograph. No worry. I'll give you the note. So FCPA, the focus of some parts of FCPA is on making sure that there is no bribery, there is no corruption. That's one thing. The second focus of FCPA is always on accountability of the assets of a company and to make sure that proper authorization are there in place. Right? So along with prevention of bribery and corruption, FCPA focuses on the first one is accountability of assets. And the second one is authorization of transactions. Right? Always remember that FCPA is a very generic topic. It's a very general topic in itself. So what does FCPA require? FCPA requires the devising and maintenance of a system of internal accounting controls that provide reasonable assurance that A, transactions are number one, properly authorized by the management. Number two, access to assets is properly authorized by the management. Number three, review and reconciliation of assets is regularly performed and finally transactions are recorded to allow the preparation of financial statements and maintain the accountability of assets. So under FCPA, management is not required to assess the effectiveness of internal control system. FCPA makes sure that there is no bribery done by American companies when the American companies are going abroad. That's one thing. Second thing you need to understand that FCPA focuses more on asset accountability. That the assets of the organization are not being misused, or I would say pilfered by the organization itself. Now, see, I don't know if you have seen this in certain organizations, but in certain organizations, there are certain areas in a company. Observe this, okay? In a company floor plan. What do I mean by floor plan? There's an office space, and there's like a on a floor basically. It's a plan, like how you keep your house. You know, there's like there's a drawing room probably, or there's a bedroom, or there's a kitchen, or stuff like that. You know, there's a floor plan to things. So when I speak about floor plan, in certain large corporations, notice that certain areas of the office are restricted. You just can't go there. I have experienced this. Despite being at a good level, I have experienced this. Why? Because there are some assets over there in that place that you are not supposed to have access to. So I asked my boss once, I said, sir, what is it that is there in that big conference room that we are not allowed to use it? Because I wanted to conduct a training, and this large conference room that we had was just perfect for it. Instead, I had to rely on another meeting or training room or a conference room, whatever we choose to call it within the organization. And we had plenty. I said, why not that one? Because personally, I liked that particular training room because it had a right bang on view of the Arabian Sea, bang on view. Also, there was a door in that training room that would open onto the balcony where there was a CCTV blind spot. What do I mean by CCTV blind spot? The whole balcony from where you can see the Arabian Sea, there was a blind spot where the CCTV can't see you. Right? So you can stand there and technically do anything. You can blast a bomb also, they will not be able to see you. So I used to go there, stand in that corner over there, take my cup of coffee, and I used to have a smoke over there. It would save my time from going up and down and all that stuff. So that's why I liked that training room a lot. He said that for the past 3 months, organizational budgeting decisions with respect to bonuses are being taken over there. And that data is in the system over there. There are files related to that. And we are looking at an organization with 7,000 to 8,000 plus people, right? So that much sheer paperwork is over there, calculations for each person, things like that. And those meetings take place over there. It's going to take at least 1.5 months more. So that data is very sensitive. You should not have access to that. That is why that entire area has been sealed off. Makes a lot of sense, don't you think? If I go into that room and I see how much bonus they are going to give me, I'll start protesting. Even if I'm happy, I'll start protesting because that's the sign of a normal human being. You want more than what you get, right? Similarly, in an organization, while I gave you the example of confidential data, information as an asset, there are various other assets that an organization has that have to be used only by certain people. It could be your company car, it could be your machineries, it could be anything, right? So while that is said and done, whenever anybody in an organization is using a particular asset, he or she has to be, he, she, or they have to be authorized for the purposes of using those assets. I hope you're with me on that. Now, any transaction that the organization has to enter into has to be authorized. Without the authorization, a transaction cannot take place. So FCPA does not focus on all internal controls per se. It speaks about asset accountability, the ability to review, reconcile, and recalculate asset balances, and the ability of an organization to authorize transactions in the regular process of business. If these three things you are able to do, it shows that you are going in the right direction. That's what FCPA majorly focuses on. Are you with me on that? Or is it confusing and complicated for you to understand? Please tell me. Please tell me. Are you understanding this? Specifically, I'm asking Navya, Alok and this one, Hubli. I don't know if Alok is in the lecture. I can't see him on my screen. Yeah, he's there. He's there. Very good.
Sir, please explain once more.
See, leave everything aside. There are certain assets that you are not supposed to use in a company. You understand this much?
Yes, sir.
Rachita, are you there in the lecture? Is Rachita there? Yeah. Rachita, are you on your laptop? Can you take
Yes, sir. Yeah, I have taken, sir.
you've taken it? Now, see, Navya, there are certain assets that are to be used, for example, director level and above. Which level?
Director level and above.
Can an assistant manager use these assets? No. What is the hierarchy? For example, you can say that the hierarchy is assistant manager, manager, senior manager, director. So can an assistant manager use these assets? No. Why?
No.
You're director level and above. What is that? It makes sure that the assets are given access only to the authorized persons. Number one. Number two, you have to enter any transaction. You need the right authorizations for that. You cannot be the one approving your own transactions. If you do that, there is a scope for some kind of fraud, misrepresentation, mistake, etc. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Taken screenshot now. So I'm rubbing this. Next. Requirements of FCPA in IMA terminology. This is important. This is a terminology your exam is using. The recorded accountability for assets is compared with existing assets at reasonable intervals and appropriate action is taken with respect to any difference. I'll explain all of these points, don't worry. Let me just put them down. Transactions are executed in accordance to management's general or specific authorization. And third, transactions are recorded as necessary to ensure financial statements are prepared in conformity with GAAP. And number two, maintain accountability of assets. What is the meaning of this? The meaning of this is you have to ensure that a asset reconciliation takes place. And where the balances are not reconciled, over there appropriate action has to be taken. In most places, the action is corrective. See, always remember that everywhere there is no scam or there is no fraud. Sometimes there are pure mistakes that can happen. Mistakes in accounting that lead to probably problems, that balances don't match, balances don't tally. What is this? This is nothing but ensuring that whatever are the reasons of difference are properly identified. How do you do that? You do that via reconciliation. Next, any transaction has to go as per authorization. And finally, transactions have to be taken care of in such a manner that they are as per gap, so that they are not in, I would say, they are adhering to the respective law. And second thing, the transactions are also such that asset accountability is maintained. So you have to maintain accountability and get the right authorization throughout this concept of FCPA. Are you understanding this? Might be a little complicated for Navya and Hubli to understand. But people like you and I, who are probably working and are used to these corporate, I would say, procedures and processes, they can probably appreciate this particular item a little bit. Yes or no? Please tell me that. Understanding remotely, guys, are you there?
Yes.
The others?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Next is this is again FCPA. One second. Please take a screenshot of this. This is again FCPA. Taken?
Yes, sir.
Next, I'm giving you a small note on again FCPA. Again FCPA. So elements to be included. In FCPA compliance program. First, second, third, and one second. If there's one more FCPA, I want to just put it out here. I don't think there is. It's all external audit after FCPA. And I want to give you one note on internal control over here. I'll make it here. It's okay, right? It's okay, right? If I make it over here, or you want a separate screenshot?
Yes, sir, it's okay.
Sorry.
It's okay, sir. You can continue here.
What do I speak about internal control here? That if the internal control system of the company is bad, you need to perform more audit procedures. If there are going to be more audit procedures, it's going to take more time. If the internal control of the company is effective, then under an effective internal control mechanism, you don't have as many audit control procedures to be performed. You can acquire sufficient and appropriate audit evidence. So, as I have given you this note a million times before, corporate governance is effective, internal controls are effective. Internal controls are effective, risk of material misstatement is low. The quantum of audit evidence required is obviously low. The level of materiality can be high. The detection risk is going to be high. Nature, timing, and extent of audit procedures can be low. Are you with me on that? Let's make a quick chain. Rachita, take a screenshot of this. Rachita, take a screenshot of
Done.
this.
Done.
Done? Now let me ask you people this question. Let me ask you this people this question. Okay? This is, you can treat it like a question or a fill in the blanks, but this, take a screenshot and keep it with you for revision. Corporate governance is ineffective. This is the starting point. So tell me one thing, what can you say about the internal controls of this organization? Navya, Navya,
Yes, sir.
Aditya, Navya, Aditya, Sheetal, I want answers from you guys. I want October people to answer. October.
Sir,
I have nothing
ineffective.
against Jan. Huh? Jan guys, you all can send in a message in the text box. I want to hear their voices. Navya, Aditya, come on. Corporate governance
Sir,
is ineffective. Internal controls,
ineffective.
ineffective. Aditya Hubli. Aditya Hubli.
Yes, sir.
Chalo. Internal controls are ineffective. Risk of material misstatement, high or low?
High.
If risk of material misstatement is high, Aditya, carefully, what should the materiality be?
Low.
Low. Sheetal, the materiality is low. The quantum of audit evidence that you require is high or low?
High.
Sorry?
High it is.
High, na?
Yes.
Correct answer. You need more audit evidence. Your audit evidence you need is high. Very good. Your detection risk in this case, Navya, detection
Low.
risk.
Sir, low.
Detection risk will be low. Very good. Very good. In such a situation, the nature, timing, and extent of audit procedures, more or less?
More.
More, obviously, you need to do more work. They will be more. Understood? Correct?
Yes, sir.
Sir,
Correct? Okay. Sheetal, corporate governance is effective. Internal controls are?
Effective.
Aditya, ROMOM is?
Low.
Navya, materiality is?
high.
Sheetal, quantum of audit evidence I require is?
Low.
Navya, detection risk is?
High.
Nature, timing, and extent of audit procedures will be?
Low.
Low.
Less. More, less, low is also. I'll live with low. Are you with me on that? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Now this external audit concept, I'm getting it revised for October people. October का और कौन है? अरे Lokesh is there ना? LD is Lokesh ना? चल Lokesh, I'm sorry I did not notice you in the lecture. वो your name came later, right?
No, no.
No. January people, answer in the text box. But I want October to revise it. Okay? Now, sufficient and appropriate audit evidence is there. Material misstatement is not there. Pervasiveness is not applicable. What kind of opinion will you give over here?
Unmodified.
Correct.
Unmodified.
Perfect answer. Very good. Very, very good. Sufficient appropriate audit event is there. Material misstatement exists. It is not pervasive. What kind of opinion will you give?
Qualified.
Qualified.
Very good. Perfect answer. Excellent. Sufficient and appropriate evidence is not there. Material misstatement exists, but by your judgment, you know that it is not pervasive. What will you give?
Qualified.
Qualified.
Very good answer. Perfect. Fantastic. Sufficient and appropriate evidence is not there. Material misstatement may be. Pervasiveness may be. What will you give?
Disclaimer.
Disclaimer of
Disclaimer.
opinion.
Disclaimer of opinion. Very, very good. Sufficient and appropriate audit evidence is there. Material misstatement is there. It is a pervasive misprint. What will you give?
Adverse.
Fantastic. Scope limitations have been imposed by the management. Scope limitations have been
Withdraw.
imposed by the management. You have two options in this situation. What are they?
Withdraw. And
Withdraw is the
Disclaimer and withdraw.
perfectly correct. What is the second option? Or
Disclaimer of opinion.
fantastic. Disclaimer of opinion can be given. Correct? Here is your revision. Revision in one glance. How many seconds do you think you will need to read this? You tell me. How many seconds? Hardly 45 seconds? 30 seconds? Right? Please take a screenshot. Keep this in your book with you somewhere. Practice this, okay? Practice this. Next. Can I rub this? Can I rub this?
Sure, sir.
Okay. Next. Now we'll do questions. Question 31. Question 31 deals with which of the following is not a requirement under FCPA Act? The recorded accountability of assets is compared with existing assets at reasonable interval and appropriate action is taken. Yes or no, you tell me. You have just written an FCPA note. Or I won't say written, but Rachita, you have taken it, right? FCPA right now.
Yes, sir.
Just share your screen. Just share your screen. Wait, I'll have to give you that. Yeah, here. Done. You mind giving me control of your screen? You have that option. Mind giving me control? Thank you. So this is FCPA. Along with the prevention of bribery and corruption, FCPA focuses on accountability and authorization. Next. What is the next one? Requirements of FCPA in the IMA terminology. Requirements of FCPA in IMA terminology. So assets are compared. Will you upload both of today's lectures together? Yeah, I'll do that by tomorrow morning. Is that okay? The screenshot of the notes will be given to you along with all the everything. So you can study this chapter, right? You can study this chapter. I don't want the last part of today's lecture to come in the recording. So I need to edit that. Editing takes time. For me at least, I'm not very good at it. I need time for that. And this lecture, I don't think it will need any editing, but I can upload this lecture before I upload the other one. So I'll upload them together, right? Give me time till tomorrow evening. So let her join. Good. Should join. It's important for her. I expect her to score 400 plus. So, Aditya, I forgot to tell you. Aditya,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
when you come to Mumbai to give the exam, near my home, there's a lake.
Yes, sir.
In that lake, there are alligators. It's a fact.
Okay, sir.
If you come to me and tell me that you had a bad paper, where will I throw you?
Into the lake.
Into that lake. Understood?
Sure, sir.
Sheetal. Sheetal.
Yes, sir.
Same.
Yes, sir.
You can Google it. Powai Lake has alligators in it. People say crocodiles. I'm a nature lover. I go in. I've done a lot of wildlife exploration on my own and stuff. So I know the difference between a crocodile and an alligator. Right? When I see it, I can tell you which is what. Right? So hopefully alligators also eat us. Huh? Don't worry. I'll throw you in the lake.
Sure, sir.
And they're Mumbai alligators. So even if you are very thin, they'll eat you because they must be hungry as it is. Good. Next. See here. Requirements of IMA in terminology of IMA of FCP are given right here. The recorded accountability for assets is compared with existing assets at reasonable intervals. Meaning what? What is existing is compared with what should be there. What is the difference in that is reconciled. Transactions are executed in accordance to management and general specification authorization. Transactions are recorded as per GAAP and to maintain the accountability of assets. This is an important aspect over here. I am giving you all half a minute. It's not a waste of time. I mean it in a good way. Please just try to prima facie memorize this particular slide. Please first prima facie try to memorize this slide. Take half a minute, please. Is the slide memorized? Take half a minute. Just go through the points. Retain them in your mind for some time. That's all. Scene checked out. Checked out, guys. Yes. Give me a thumbs up. At least Hubli, Navya, Sheetal, Lokesh. Give me a thumbs up. Right? Rachita, thank you so much. Rachita, thanks.
Done, sir.
Yeah. So, my January friends, please give me a message on the chat box. My October friends, read the question, give me the answer.
Sub B.
Marriage bed was annually in FCPA. I have specifically given you a note that under FCPA, management is not required to do any annual assessment of internal controls. Yes or no? Please tell me that. Yes or no? Please tell me that. Agreed to my statement? So, what is your answer? Which of the following is not a requirement? It is not a requirement. This is a requirement. This is not needed under FCPA. But this annual assessment, is it needed under SOX? You tell me. Yes or no? Yes, it's needed. It's needed. Transactions are executed in accordance with the management's general or specific authorization. Correct. Transactions to permit financial statements and to maintain accountability of assets. My dear friends, don't you think this whole question, which otherwise we would have just let go, we have got it in the form of a chart to study? Will we memorize that? Guys, will we memorize those charts?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Are you sure? Memorize them? Pakka na? Chalo, Alok, very good. Alok is able to answer. He's from Jan. So I think Jan people, you are in the position to answer. Yes or no, guys? Okay. Rachita, take a screenshot, please.
Taken.
Thank you. Just a second. I spilled water on my writing pad. I'm flagging it because I feel FCPA questions are less, so it's good if you keep them in your pocket. The primary reason the auditor considers the strength and weakness of an internal control system in conjunction with financial statement audits. Didn't we just draw a chart for this? Didn't we just draw a chart for this? Guys, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes? Just a second. Rachita, again, can I bother you, please?
Yes, sir.
Can I bother you again, Rachita?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Can you show us that chart? Last one that I know. Yeah. Just come a little down. Na? Give me control of your screen. Thank you. Now see this. Why does the auditor consider all of these items? The auditor considers all of these items because he wants to check the strength and weakness of internal control system. Correct? Next, the strength and weakness of internal control system speaks about the effectiveness of the system, the nature, timing, and extent of audit procedures to be performed by the auditor, and to acquire sufficient and appropriate audit evidence on which he has to base the opinion. Right? They go hand in hand. The entire audit process has to be performed, and that depends on the strength and weakness of the internal control system, because that will decide the NTE, and it will decide how much evidence you are actually supposed to get. And on the basis of this, we made that chart that I revised with you. Thank you, Rachita. Thank you so much. Now, I would like to ask you again question. I would like to ask you again a question. Just a second. Now, my question that I am asking you is not related to the MCQ. Maybe it is related, whatever. Now, look at my question, okay? My question is a simple one. My question is a simple one. Internal control system is ineffective. The internal control system is ineffective. ROMOM will be high or ROMOM will be low. ROMOM will be high or ROMOM will be low.
Hi.
Hi.
High. October people answer verbally. January people put the message in the inbox. So it's an ineffective system. ROMOM will be low. If the ROMOM is low, if the ROMOM is low or high, sorry, I
Hi,
made a
hi.
blunder.
Sir, hi.
Made a blunder. The ROMOM is high. The ROMOM is high. If the ROMOM is high, nature, timing, and extent of audit procedures should be high or
Hi.
low.
Hi.
Hi.
Audit evidence. You need more or less?
Hi.
High, more.
More.
High or more? Both are the same. You all are understanding the concept. That's important. Tell me one thing. Materiality will be high or low?
Low.
Low.
Very good answer. Materiality will be low. Very good answer. So, if the internal control system now is effective, tell me one thing. ROMOM will be high or low?
Low.
Low.
Very good. Nature, timing, and extent high or
Low.
low?
Low.
Audit evidence high or low?
Low.
Low.
Less.
Less. Materiality high or low?
Hi.
High.
Hi.
High materiality. Over here, detection risk. Let's talk about it. Detection risk.
Low.
The
Low.
first case. In the first case, it is low. Perfect. In the second case, it is.
Hi.
Can I say that ROMOM is inversely proportionate to materiality? Materiality is inversely proportionate to quantum of audit evidence materiality is directly proportionate to detection risk. Agreed or disagreed? Materiality is directly proportionate to detection risk. Agreed or disagreed? Yes or no? Please tell me that.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Agreed, no? This you are able to make this connection in your minds. Yes. Again, this is a revision at a glance. Again, revision at a glance. Recommend you keep a screenshot of this with you.
Taken, sir.
Take it. Take a screenshot of this. Right? Just a second, please hold. हाँ बोलो. हाँ लेक्चर ले रहा हूँ सीएम बोलो. हाँ मेरे ही चार्ज पर वो इंस्टीट्यूट का मॉड्यूल ही तो है यार. खोल के एक बार मॉड्यूल देख ले. पूरा मॉड्यूल का तो चार्ट बनाया मैंने. पूरा कवर्ड है. उतना पढ़ ले काफी है. चल ठीक है. I should hire one of those people, you know. You have to call them, they tell you what to do. You should hire one of those fuckers. Think I need it. Tell that person, फोन ही नहीं उठाने का. कितना भी आएगा 50 फोन. सेंड एन ईमेल बोलने का उसको. ईमेल आया तो रिप्लाई करने का. 5वें ईमेल के बाद रिप्लाई करने का. बराबर है. चलो. Take a screenshot of this. Take a screenshot of this. Screenshot taken.
Taken, sir.
Apply your mind to it from the perspective of retaining it. Retain it conceptually. Now, October people, verbally answer. January people, put it in the inbox. This is your question. This is your question. This is your question. Come on, Lokesh, fatafat. You just did it. Come on, Lokesh. Alok, Sheetal, sorry, Hubli, Sheetal,
The B.
B.
Maruf is saying A. The primary reason an auditor considers the strengths and weaknesses of an internal control system is to identify the controls that would likely prevent or detect errors or irregularities. Here, the auditor is analyzing internal control system effectiveness. Next, provide a basis of reliance in determining the nature, timing, and extent. This right here is the answer. Identify causes or errors of irregularities. No. What is the answer? The answer in the question that we had written was option number B. Are you with me on that? Where is everyone? Maruf?
Yes, sir.
I don't know if you have seen the screenshot. Maruf? You are at home, na? Means you are in position to respond.
Yes,
na? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Just 1 second. I'll help you out. Don't worry. Rachita, please again, can I bother you? I'm sorry for that.
No worries, sir.
Let him read the note again. It will be clarified in his mind. Just scroll to the note, please. That one, yes. A little down. Maruf, please read this. Take 2 seconds and read this. Please read this note. Maruf, did you
Yes,
read
sir.
it?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand why the answer is option number B?
The nature, timing, and extent of audit
Correct.
procedures.
Are
Yeah.
there any doubts?
No, sir.
रट्टा मारो भैया इसका. That's all you do.
वही करना पड़ेगा.
Thanks for your. हाँ मतलब समझ के रट्टा मारिए ना. समझ के रट्टा मारिए. Don't mug up like without understanding. ठीक है. Again, this I find this 32 is a good question. 33 number 33. Which of the following incidents should the auditor report to the management of the board of directors? Compensation for customer service manager is higher than the internal auditor. Control procedure require that the same person do not enter and ship a transaction, but they have been observed by the same person. Several employees are coming in late and leaving early. An error of 0.05 was found. Come on, I would like you to think about it and give me the answer. Come on, Sheetal, apna Hubli, Navya, give me the answer.
Sir, I think D.
You think?
B.
B for Bombay. Compensation for customer service manager is higher than internal auditor. How does this impact audit? Or how is this an audit risk? It is not an audit risk, so he will not report this.
Sir, B.
Control.
Answer B.
The answer B is perfectly correct. I'm justifying. Control procedures require the same person should not enter and ship a transaction. Both have been observed to be done. So here what is there? There is an absence of.
SOD.
Yes.
Segregation of duties.
Perfect. There is an absence of segregation of duties. So where segregation of duties is absent, internal control system effectiveness is down. My dear friends, agree to my statement. Auditor is responsible for identifying weakness or deficiency in internal control system. Yes or no, you tell me that. Yes or no, you tell me that.
Sir.
And then this is to be brought to the attention of whom? Attention of the audit com
Management.
DOD.
and the management. Perfect answer. And the management. Which of the following should they report? They should be reporting B. Several employees are coming in late. How is this a risk to the audit? Not concerned. Auditor will be like, why should I care? And a data of this much. This is an immaterial sum. This is an immaterial sum of money. Right? Auditor will be concerned only with material. Auditor is concerned only with material aspects. Hold on. Auditor concerned only with material aspects. Are you with me on that? This is also
Yes,
wrong.
sir.
This is also wrong. So what's the answer?
B.
The answer here comes to B. Please take a screenshot of this, Rachita. We'll need this.
Done, sir.
Is it done?
Done.
Question number 34. A public corporation must meet all the provisions of FCPA except for. Rachita, again, allow me to bother you, please. Question number 34 is dependent on a chart that I gave you. Please go up for FCPA. The last FCPA chart. Hold on. Yes. Document the corporation's existing internal control accounting system, a system of quality checks. Sorry. A cost benefit analysis of the control and risks that are being minimized have to be taken into consideration. And a system of quality checks that evaluates the internal control system also has to be taken into consideration. All of this has to be included in an FCPA compliance program. Thank you so much. I'll go back to mine now. All of that has to be implemented in an FCPA compliance program. Now see over here on question number 34. What all has to be included in an FCPA compliance program? An authorized and properly signed agreement that it will abide by the act is not there. There is no such thing. Documentation, yes. Cost benefit analysis, yes. System of internal controls check, yes. So you will refer to your note you have made, and the answer is option number A. Are we clear about this, guys?
Yes,
Are we
sir.
clear about this? Okay. Question number 35. The principal impetus for the enactment of FCPA is to discourage unethical behaviors, prevent the bribery of foreign officials by US firms seeking business abroad. When your US firm goes out, it should not bribe people outside. So if a US firm comes to India, it should not bribe people in India is what it's all about. Right? Take a screenshot of this. Taken?
Continue, sir.
Question 36. Sorry. Internet seems to be fine. Which of the following least likely? Oh, now 36 onwards, we have entered into external audit now. FCPA is over, okay? FCPA is over. Which of the following least represents a responsibility of the external auditor? Provide an absolute assurance. Absolute or relative? Reasonable.
Reasonable.
It has to be what kind of assurance? Reasonable. Which of the following likely represents? So this does not represent. This does not represent. Next, comply with generally accepted auditing standards, which includes the authorization of transactions, which includes authorization.
No.
We have written a note specifically that the auditor is never ever supposed to do this. Correct? Issue an opinion. The next one is issue an opinion on the fairness of financial
Yes.
statements. This is a responsibility, whether they provide a true and fair view. Design, implement, and maintain internal control systems. Is the auditor supposed to do this?
No.
This is the job of whom? This is the job of
Manager.
What will auditor do for this?
Review. Suggestion. And provide suggestion.
He will sort of check its effectiveness. He will check its effectiveness. And he'll report into the audit committee after that. So here for this particular question, what's your answer? Issue an opinion is your answer. I think this is a good question. 36. Right? Now we come to 37. Oh, sorry. Rashida, please take a screenshot.
Taken.
Question 37. The following properly describes the auditor's responsibility as opposed to management's responsibility. Come on. Solve and show me. What's the answer for this? Auditor is responsible for the entity's financial statements and manager is responsible. Is the auditor responsible for the entity's financial statements or is he responsible for issuing an opinion? Who is responsible for the entity's financial statements? Not the auditor. The management. So, which of the following properly describes? This does not properly describe. Auditor is responsible for identifying the laws and regulations applicable to the entity's activity and is responsible for affirming and what is responsible for affirming that the effects of uncorrected misstatement are immaterial. Whose job is this? This all is management duty. All of this is management responsibility. Agreed or disagreed? In the management responsibility, you have written this down. Do you remember? This was there. If you have referred to the screenshot, this was there. Next, management is responsible for the entity's financial statements and auditor is responsible for application of accounting principles. No. Who is responsible for this?
Management.
Management is responsible. So if all the three are wrong, obviously D has to be correct. So management is responsible for affirming the effects of uncorrected misstatement in the financial statements are immaterial. So uncorrected misstatement should always be what? Immaterial. And the auditor is responsible for obtaining a reasonable assurance, perfect word, about whether the financial statements are free of material misstatement. This is a very, very elaborately drafted point. This is a very, very elaborately drafted point. Yes or no? Guys, so what is your answer?
Yes, sir.
Your answer here,
D.
option number D. Question number 38. When planning, oh sorry, wait. I was going to give you a chart. No, I mentioned, did I say chart? I'll give you a chart over here.
No,
I
sir.
said, na.
No.
Did I say I'll give you a chart here, please?
No, sir.
I said it. Maybe I'm falling asleep. Wait. I have to give you a chart over here. I want to, matlab, have to get it. Now see. Misstatements are of two types. Material and immaterial. May be ignored. Now material is of two types. Corrected by management. Not yet corrected. If it is corrected by management, done. If it is corrected by management, no problem. This is properly executed. So process over. If it is not yet corrected, you have to ensure that the impact of misstatements, material, immaterial, not yet corrected, this impact the impact of this uncorrected misstatement should be immaterial. Should be what? Right? Not yet corrected. Material, not yet corrected, impact should be immaterial. Are you understanding what I'm trying to say? Are you with me on that? Guys, are you with me there? The impact of an uncorrected misstatement should always be immaterial. October, are you with me?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Take a this screenshot.
Done.
37 is done. 38. When planning an audit, the auditor needs to evaluate the audit risk. The auditor may unknowingly fail to appropriately modify his or her opinion on financial statements that are materially misstated. Audit risk is composed of what? Inherent risk, control risk, and detection risk. There is nothing like tolerable rate risk. ऐसा कुछ नहीं है allowance. There is no such thing. Risk of incorrect rejection नहीं है. Risk of these things are only not there. What is audit opinion? Audit risk. Audit risk is made of what? Inherent control, inherent risk, control risk, and detection risk. Are you with me on that? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sorry, Rajita, take a screenshot.
Done.
And now, you all will know it by heart now that audit risk is comprising of what? Okay. Number 39. During the planning, the auditor learns that the company engages in multiple hedging activities. What will this be? See, hedging is what? Inherently risky. What is this?
Yes, sir.
Hedging is inherently risky, right? So the company is doing an inherently risky business. What happens as far as this company is concerned? It increases the assessment of which risk? Inherent risk. It does not decrease it. Control has nothing to do with this. A company can undertake risky activities and have the most effective system of internal control. Still, ROMOM will be high because inherent risk is high because of the nature of activities that it carries out. Are you with me? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So if you want, I'll give you a note for this. You can write the note down. Now, if a company engages in an inherently risky business, an example of such a business can be insurance. It can be marine cargo freighting. There's so much. If a company engages in an inherently risky business, then even if the corporate governance is effective and the wait, what are we trying to write? Inherently risky business. So corporate governance is effective and the control risk is low. Even if this is the case, inherent risk continues to exist. The inherent risk for an insurance company and a cargo freighting company, are they in the control of the auditor? Yes or no? No. Beyond the auditor's control, right? I forgot what the question was. Just a second. What will this result in? Right? Beyond the auditor's control. So inherent risk continues to exist. So entering into risky transactions, right? Or having an inherently risky business model. What do both of these result in? Both of these result in what? Inherent risk going up, even if control risk is low. What does this result in? ROMOM is high due to
High.
what?
Due to inherent risk.
Perfect. Due to inherent risk. Right? Take a screenshot of this. Number 39. The auditor learns that the company engages in hedging. This may result in what? Increasing the assessment of inherent risk, decreasing. It has to obviously increase the assessment of this risk, right? Are you with me
Yes,
on
sir.
that?
Yes, sir.
Increases the assessment. Decrease. Why will you do that? Why? If internal risk, inherent risk is less, then do this. Comma. Here inherent risk is high. Not the answer. Increase the assessment of control risk, not related. Our question is related to what? This is not control oriented. It is inherently risky. What is it? It is inherently risky. Right? So what are we looking at? We are looking at increasing the inherent risk. There's no impact on control risk. Screenshot, please. Screenshot, please. Taken? Taken screenshot?
Yes, sir. Done.
Question number 40. Which of the following is not a part of audit risk? Model that is
Engagement
used.
risk.
Control risk is
D.
this. Engagement risk, plant detection risk is there. This is not there. There is nothing called engagement risk. Are you with me on that? There's nothing called engagement risk. Clear? Take a screenshot.
Done.
41 seems interesting. The relationship between inherent risk, detection risk, and plant evidence is how? So, I've been doing all this inversely related, directly related. See why over here. Now see over here. I'm writing over here again. Please pay attention. If the inherent risk is high, forget the question, you give my answer. The audit evidence you require is more. Agreed or disagreed? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Or if the inherent risk is high, ROMOM is high,
Yes, sir.
ROMOM is high,
Yes, sir.
materiality will be kept low. Obviously, audit evidence you want is more. Detection risk will be low. If the inherent risk is low, audit evidence is less, ROMOM is going to be high. Now, what are they saying? Inherent risk is positively, matlab directly related to plant detection risk. Inherent risk is inversely connected to detection risk.
Point D.
So, inherent risk is inversely related to detection risk. Second, inherent risk is directly related to audit evidence. Directly related to audit evidence. Your answer is
D.
option number D.
D.
Inherent risk is positively related to plant detection risk. No, it is inversely related and not at all related to plant evidence. This is a wrong statement. Inherent risk is inversely related to plant detection risk and plant audit evidence. No, it is inversely related only to plant detection risk, but to plant audit evidence it is directly related. What is it? It is directly related. Are you able to understand this? There is no relationship. This is stupidity. The answer is option number D. What is your answer? It is option number D. Are you with me on that? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Screenshot taken, no, please.
ले लिया sir.
Question number 42. By obtaining an understanding of the client and its internal control environment, what are you directly assessing? Control risk, detection risk, what? What are you directly assessing? Obviously, what are you directly doing here? The answer is inherent risk. What is the answer? Inherent risk. Are you with me on that?
Sir, inherent
Sir,
and
D.
control नहीं आएगा.
One second. I'm sorry.
D
I made
आएगा
a
ना sir?
mistake. I made a mistake. By obtaining an understanding of the client, what will you be able to obtain? Inherent risk. What is it? Inherent risk. And its control environment, what will you understand?
Control risk.
Control risk.
The answer is inherent and control risk. What is the answer? Inherent and control risk. That's your answer. Both the aspects are covered over here. Got it? Did you understand the question?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
This is the right answer. Take a screenshot.
Done.
Question 43. Which is not a primary characteristic associated with audit risk? Before an opinion is provided for an audit, the audit risk should be reduced to an appropriately low level. Is not a primary. It is a characteristic. That is what the auditor has to do. We have written a note on this today only. Reduce audit risk to an acceptably low level. It is a risk that the auditor may fail to detect the client's deceptive practices which may result in misstatement. This may be the answer. Audit risk arises if the auditor obtains only reasonable assurance that the client's financial statement. Yes, audit risk will arise. Audit risk will be eliminated when this is an absolute assurance. D. It is the risk associated with the auditor failing to appropriately modify an audit opinion when the client financial statements contain misstatement. This is also correct. So, therefore, what is your answer over here? Your answer for this question? So, option number B. It is a risk that the auditor may fail to detect the deceptive practices. Deceptive practices are fraud based, right? Which may result in misstatement. The auditor will be able to find out the misstatement, but maybe not the deceptive practices. Are you with me there, guys? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
It's an important question. I feel it's important. Putting a star on it. Taken screenshot?
Yes, sir.
Ten more questions. Question 44. My favorite. Dan the CPA has been engaged in Modern Home, a manufacturing company that specializes in furniture. Which of the following matters related to the year under audit are most likely to result in an increase of inherent risk? Furniture industry has experienced an overall increase in demand. What will this lead to? This will lead to revenue rising. No risk in that.
B. Derivative transaction.
And this is inherently risky. What is this? This is your answer. Increase in working capital. What is the risk? No risk. I mean, of course, there's a risk. You're not going to be able to recover it, but this is not inherently, not related. This is not related. Modern Home has purchased new expensive equipment. So, how is that risky? Purchase it. Recently engaged in this. This is the risky one. Are you with me on that? Everyone?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Please take a screenshot. The answer is derivative transaction.
Yes, sir.
A good one. Question 45. An auditor should be able to collect and evaluate documentary evidence. Yes. While evaluating and interpreting the evidence, the auditor must be concerned about drawing unwarranted conclusions. An example of a valid conclusion. Correct? Oh, fantastic. Do you remember I had given this to you?
Yes, sir. Answer is D. Consent goods.
Yes, answer is D. Correct. पढ़ के आइए. Good, good, good. पढ़ के आइए. What is the answer? Option number D. Do you
D.
remember this note was there?
Yes.
Sita, can you show me?
Net join की लग
But ये बहुत ऊपर रहेगा. Don't show me. Forget it. Don't. It's okay. बहुत ऊपर रहेगा. Mark this as important. Right? Guys, you remember this, right? I had given this. ये लिखा है मैंने.
Yes, sir.
ये अकेली को याद है क्या? What about the rest? सो रहे हो क्या?
नहीं सर, याद है.
हुबली,
Yes, sir.
remember this or no?
Sure, sir. I do remember.
Surely I'll throw you in that fucking lake. You remember this or no?
Yes, sir. I remember.
Navya,
Yes, sir.
शीतल,
Yes, sir.
ये हाँ ही बोलना पड़ेगा ना. अभी सब लोग हाँ बोल रहे हैं. जान की धमकी मिल रही है एक स्टूडेंट को. क्या कर सकती हो आप बताइए. 46. ये अच्छा क्वेश्चन. लगाओ दिमाग, लड़ाओ दिमाग. वेट 46 के चार्ट मुझे. चलो वेट. I have drawn some charts. I want you to have them.
सर एक मिनट क्वेश्चन हटा दिया आपने.
हाँ, I want to draw some charts. तो see, change in accounting policies, right, or principal application. First, you tell me, is it allowed or it is not allowed? Is it allowed or it is not allowed?
Allowed, sir.
It is
Allowed, sir.
allowed. It is allowed. Why it should not be allowed? It is allowed. But it has to be properly accounted. But it has to be properly accounted. Agreed or disagreed?
Agree.
If it is not accounted, it will lead to a material misstatement. What will it lead to? A material misstatement. Are you with me on that?
Yes, sir.
Yes or no? Now, please understand. It will lead to a material misstatement. Now, don't take a screenshot. I don't need you to take a screenshot. Sometimes, even if audit report is not modified, when do you not modify the audit report? When material misstatements are not there and financial statements are true and fair. This is when you don't modify it. Sometimes the audit report is not modified, even if it is not modified. There are some items or transactions that are so unique, material, or important that users of financial information, that is, users of financial statements, must be informed about them. There are some transactions that are so unique, material, and important. They are properly accounted for, my dear friends. If they are properly accounted for, will a material misstatement exist? No.
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 Will there be a need for a qualified opinion? No. But they are so important that, they must be brought to the attention of the users of financial statements. Now, please understand the meaning of the term emphasis of matter. What is the meaning of emphasis of matter? First of all, a matter is appropriately disclosed in the financial statements. Means there is no need, or rather I will say there is no material misstatement, no need for a modified opinion. Next. But the auditor opines that the matter is so important that it is fundamental to the understanding of the users of financial statement. It is not a modification. So how will the auditor bring it to their attention? By emphasizing on it. What will he give? He will give an EOM paragraph. What is this called? Emphasis of matter. It is called EOM. He will give what? An EOM paragraph. So tell me one thing. EOM is given when opinion is unmodified. Are you with me? Yes or no? Please tell me that.
Yes, sir.
EOM will never be given if opinion is modified. I want you to keep this much in mind. Why? Because EOM is not a substitute for a modified opinion. EOM is not a substitute for a modified opinion. Are you with me on that? Yes or no? Please tell me.
Yes, sir. Agreed.
Just to bring to your attention that something really important has happened. Tell me something. The launch of Geo, is it something that calls for a qualification or a modification? No. But it is so important that the shareholders should now know that their company is doing these and these activities. Are you with me on that? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Are you with me there? Please take a screenshot of this. Please take a screenshot of this. Taken?
Done, sir.
What is T and F? What is T and F?
True and fair.
True and fair. Are you with me? T and F is true and fair. So I've given you how to do emphasis of matter, EOM. Are you with me on that?
Yes, sir.
Please take a screenshot. This is very important. So for a qualified report, modified report, will you ever have an EOM? Will you
No,
ever
sir.
have an EOM? Guys, will you ever have an EOM for a modified report?
No, sir.
Can you please read for us? What do you want me to read? The handwriting? Modified. EOM will not be included in modified report. But there is a unmodified, but there is a significant transaction fundamental to the users to understand. So you add an EOM para. EOM will be included or issued only in an unmodified opinion. An opinion which has got no material misstatement and it is true and fair. No MMS exists. Any other words you have doubt with? This is modified. What this word is modified. You are able to read it, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I think I don't know if I said it in this batch, but I said that after you finish your journey with Apex, you will be able to be qualified chemists, is what I tell in my class. I don't know if I mentioned it in this class. I don't remember. But
बोला है सर, यहाँ पे भी बोला है आपने.
you will become qualified chemists. Yeah. Now, what are we looking at? We're looking at it over here. A client changes from FIFO to LIFO for accounting for inventory and appropriately discloses the changes in the footnotes. They are appropriately disclosed. So no need for modified opinion. The change does not have a material effect on the financial statements in the current year. Immaterial. But the change is expected to have a material effect in the later years. Later, na? Is it now? No. In the current year, what should the auditors report to? See, change. Current year, later year. Change in current year, immaterial. In later years, it is material. So what to do?
Option A.
Deal with it when it comes your way. Currently, is it in your way? Is it material? No. Why the hell should I care about it? Emphasis of matter will not be given over here because it is not material in current year. Issue an unmodified opinion with other matter paragraph, not needed. Issue an unmodified opinion is the right answer. Issue qualified. What the fuck? Why? Issue an adverse opinion. Why? This is a senseless dialogue. Answer is option number C. Issue an unmodified opinion. In the current period, is it material? No, sir. Is everything done properly? Yes, sir. I am issuing audit opinion for current year or for future periods. Current period, no audit opinion is issued for? Yes, it's for current year. In the current year, is there any problem? No. But आगे जाके होगा. अरे जब होगा तभी audit report दे दूंगा. I'll deal with it at that time. Are you with me on that? Yes or no? Please tell me. Yes or no? Please tell me that. Take a screenshot, please. Take a screenshot, please. The answer is option number C.
Done,
Why
sir.
will I not put an emphasis of matter? Because it is not material in current year. If it was material in current year, I would do an emphasis of matter. Let's pay attention to a chart I would like to draw. So I'm just, an extempore chart here. I want you to pay attention. Now, change in accounting policy. Principle. Right? Material in current year. Immaterial in current year. No EOM needed. EOM is needed. Change in policy properly executed. What is the meaning of the term properly executed? No material misstatement. Agreed or disagreed? If it is material in the current year, then EOM is needed. Is it material in the current year? No. Change in policy and principle. That is material. It is appropriately accounted. Unmodified opinion. Plus, due to materiality, I will give an EOM. if it is inappropriately accounted. I will go for a modified opinion. And under a modified opinion, I can never include an EOM. The modified opinion, if it is a pervasive misstatement, what will I say? It is an adverse opinion. Sir, how are you saying only pervasive? Over here I have written no Raja, it is already material. So if it is pervasive, what will I give? An adverse opinion.
Adverse.
And if it is not pervasive,
Qualified.
perfect, I will give only a qualified opinion. Perfect answer. Right? Take a screenshot of this. I have sent photographs of these charts already here. They were, of course, handwritten.
Done, sir.
In those charts, there is a thing included for change in method of depreciation. The photographs that I have sent. The example I've given in that is change in method of depreciation. And it is material. It is what? It is material. If it is appropriately accounted for, it is unmodified, plus you will give an EOM. But it is inappropriately accounted for. Or inaccurate accounting. What will you do?
Qualified.
Perfect. It is pervasive. What will you give?
Adverse.
And if it is not pervasive,
Qualified.
what will you give?
Qualified.
Take a screenshot. I'm not saying no. This is already there in the photographs that I've sent you. Taken?
Done, sir.
Question 47. If the financial statements contain a departure from an official pronouncement of FASB, what does FASB prescribe? It prescribes US GAAP. It's your accounting standard board. A departure from the official pronouncement of FASB means a departure from GAAP. What are we talking about over here? We are talking about a departure from GAAP.
Adverse. A.
Now, if it is a departure from GAAP, right, is material and pervasive, what will it be? Adverse. When will it be qualified? It is
Not
material.
pervasive.
Disclaimer means can't say. Qualified opinion with an explanation. This is bullshit. There is nothing like qualified opinion with an explanation. This is bullshit. This is material plus pervasive. Are you with me on that?
Yes. Sir.
Take a screenshot. Question
Done.
48. In which of these would you give an adverse opinion? I have discussed this with you. Financial statements that purport to present financial position and results, but it refuses to include the related cash flows. This is adverse because it is material and pervasive. Please remember, I have discussed this with you if you remember in the notes. Remember, they don't see your management refuses to allow. Then I told you there is a scope limitation. Remember?
Yes, sir.
So what
Yes,
will
sir.
this be? This is disclaimer of opinion or withdrawal. Remember over here I said, yes, I agree that there is a material misstatement, but how can you say that they are pervasive? Remember this?
Yes, sir.
And given this in the class, the answer for this one is option.
बस opinion भी inappropriate पूछा है sir.
Oh, will be inappropriate. Inappropriate. So here there will be adverse. Here it can be adverse plus adverse or qualified. Here there will be disclaimer of opinion. So the answer has to be C. इधर explanation में option C दिया रहेगा लोग ने answer फिर. C they have given, correct? C is disclaimer and D
Withdrawal.
they do not appropriately disclose. So this there is no doubt that it is qualified. There is no doubt that it is qualified. It can be adverse also if it is pervasive. What is your answer? Your answer should be C for this one. I'm sorry, I felt a little tired, so I just got a little distracted. But your answer here is going to be C because adverse opinion is inappropriate. In all these places, adverse opinion is appropriate, but since it's you don't know about the pervasiveness, you can't be sure about it. But here it's always going to be a disclaimer of opinion. Are you with me on that? Yes or no? Clear?
Yes, sir.
49. Which opinion will he render if material and pervasively misstated due to the company departing from this? Material and pervasive. Adverse opinion?
Yes.
Agreed or disagreed?
Agreed, sir.
Question 50. Management refuses to allow the auditor to observe the inventory. Scope limitation. Scope limitation. What is this? Refuses to allow. What is this? Scope limitation. An inventory is 60%
Qualified or adverse?
material. No, not qualified. Why? How are you so sure that there will be a misstatement? You have not observed it. Maybe there is no misstatement. How can you say? Alternative
Withdrawal.
auditing procedures cannot be applied. Based auditor should
Disclaimer
issue
or
an
withdrawal.
unmodified opinion with an emphasis of matter paragraph. Can't say. What if there is a material misstatement? Can't say. Issue a disclaimer of opinion or withdraw from the agreement. Issue an unmodified with an how are you so sure there is no misstatement? Question is saying that it is material. You tell me, is there a misstatement or is there not a misstatement? I don't know whether a misstatement is there or not. There is no doubt that it is material. I subscribe to the fact that this is material. But is there a misstatement? You tell me, is there a misstatement? I am not allowing you, the auditor, to look at my inventory counting. Does that mean I'm making a mistake in that? I don't want you to see. My privacy get lost. My privacy get lost. I don't like you as an auditor. I feel you're very interfering. Get lost. Whose inventory? My inventory. Whose choice? My choice. Just because I don't let you observe something that I'm doing, does that mean that I'm making a mistake? You tell me. Yes or no?
No, sir.
No. No. Are you with me on that?
Yes, sir.
Issue a qualified or an adverse opinion. Are you sure there is a material misstatement?
No.
There is no data to prove. There is no data in question to prove material misstatement exists. I agree. It is material. No doubt about it. But does question say it is misstated? No. How can you assume? You can't assume, but question clearly shows me a scope limitation. And in case of scope limitation, what will I do?
Withdrawal or disclaimer.
I will clearly give you this. Are you with me on that? Yes or no? Because question clearly tells you scope limitation. Question clearly says scope limitation. Are you with me on that? Yes or no? Please tell me. Please take a screenshot. This is a good question. This is a good question. Right, guys? Taken?
Yes, sir.
Taken?
Yes, sir.
51. Following are requirements of PCAOB standard number 5. PCAOB. Have I given you the note on PCAOB standard 5?
No, sir.
No, sir.
I have not given. Top-down risk approach, PCAOB standard 5. Just check that integrated audit note once. Check your integrated audit note once. Can I just take a look? Maybe I have. In case I have not, I'll give it right now. Don't worry. Two only question. That's okay. Can you show me, Rachita?
The integrated one is on 14th September, right?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Let me download that.
Steps in TDRA. Have I given you steps in TDRA?
Just a
Yes, sir.
second.
It's given. You have given it.
Steps in TDRA is given.
Yes, sir. I have written
Rachita,
it.
show me, na?
हाँ सर एक सेकंड है
हाँ हाँ अरे you're opening the sheet only. Good.
14 सर नहीं है ना मेरे पास भी
अच्छा 14 you don't have.
हम्म, yes.
सर मैंने ग्रुप में शेयर किया देखो वही है क्या?
देखता हूँ एक मिनट स्टेप्स ऑफ TDRA
यस यस
ये दिया है आगे जाओ बॉटम अप्रोच ठीक है आगे जाओ नहीं दिया है steps of TDRA is given but section auditing standard 5 is not given. चलो stop your share. I just remembered something really funny. PCOB, okay. PCAOB standard 5 says, how will you develop audit procedures? You will follow risk-based approach. Risk-based approach means what? Top-down risk assessment approach. When you are relying on the work of others, apply auditing principles to it. And if the organization is big, make the audit big. If the organization is small, keep the audit small. Audit testing will always be done by using a risk-based approach. Who says this? PCAOB standard 5. Take a screenshot of this. You have to memorize this stuff, huh? You have to memorize this stuff. Are you with me?
Yes.
रट्टा मारना पड़ेगा. Please remember.
सर ये
बोलो.
जो नीचे ऑडिट टेस्टिंग ऑलवेज डन यूजिंग है क्या वो?
Risk based approach.
वाह टन्ना वाह.
नहीं, उसके पहले वो रिस्क बेस्ड मुझे समझ में आया, यूजिंग है ना वो?
मस्त हैंडराइटिंग में लिख के देगा तेरे को.
यस, थैंक यू.
ठीक है.
परफेक्ट.
स्क्रीनशॉट मारो प्लीज. Rachita taken.
Yes, sir.
Take this. Take this only. He's right. Earlier was written in Chinese. Chinese, it's some kind of weird Maggie noodle language. You know what I mean?
But we are able to understand now.
Oh, you're used to it.
Habitual.
You're used to it. It's like that kid saying, I have an alcoholic father. You're fucking used to it here. Are you understanding? It's a very bad joke. It's a very bad joke. I don't know why I crack such jokes when I'm tired. I say absolutely inappropriate things. I'm sorry for that, yeah. Shit, is it getting recorded? What will people think? You know, I hope one day students say that we have not come to learn, we have come to listen to inappropriate jokes from me. I'll be like, yes, my career as a stand-up comedian has begun. Are you with me on that? So I was in a meeting with somebody on a call 1 or 2 days ago, and I told them that यार उसके business का पूरा internal reconstruction करना है. I meant it in a lot of. So he was like, what if I take over that? You know, what if this guy asked me, what if I take over that business? I was like, थूकी पड़ी है, internal reconstruction करना पड़ेगा. And he started laughing. Said, oh, good joke. It was a very high level PJ that I had cracked. But he appreciated that high level PJ that I had cracked because same profession we were able to talk. I feel one day people should come only to listen to my jokes. You know, that will be like standard stand-up comedian I've become. Or probably if I grow Apex to the extent that I can have an annual day, I'll only do stand-up comedy for 10-15 minutes over there before all the other students, I make them sing and dance. You know what I mean? That kind of stuff. ठीक है, take a screenshot. #51. What are the requirements of PCA? Rule-based approach to the extent of this. Is this there? Except. This is wrong. It will not be rule-based. Principle-based. Risk-based approach, yes. Because principle-based approach, yes. Right? Extent of rule. Principle-based or risk-based. Requires the auditor to scale, yes. So here, this is incorrect. Testing, always risk-based. So except. What is your answer? Clear, guys?
Yes,
Are you with
sir.
me on that? Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
The screenshot. Oh, sorry. Screenshot taken.
Done, sir.
भड़क गई, बहुत काम करवा रहा हूँ इससे 30 50 50 स्क्रीनशॉट उतरवा दो इससे एक टाइम पे. PCAOB standard 5 requires you to follow top-down risk-based approach to auditing the financial statements and internal control. Which item is not one of the top-down risk-based steps? अभी वो top-down का steps दिया है. You want me to write down the steps over here, or you will refer to the chart? What do you want me to do? You tell me. It's there in your chart, it's there in the notes. Will you refer or should I draw it here?
We'll refer it, sir.
Write it here. चलो, एक भी बोलेगा तो लिखना पड़ेगा. चलो, first step, what will you do? You will identify significant accounts and disclosures. Which one is not a step? This is a step. So this is a step.
Insignificant
Second.
लिखा है वहाँ पे.
Sorry.
A में insignificant लिखा है. Identifying insignificant accounts in option A. It should be
अच्छा,
significant.
It should be significant. Correct. I have मैंने पढ़ा ही नहीं वो. Sorry. ये insignificant है. So be very careful about this. Second, identify material risks. तो वही आंसर है फिर. Identify material risks in these accounts. Which accounts? By these accounts I mean significant accounts. Who are these accounts? They are the significant accounts and disclosures. Third, technically statement number B makes no sense. They are saying within these accounts. Which fucking accounts are you talking about? Instead of here, you have to use the word within significant accounts. These are the words you have to use. Third, determine which entity level controls address the risks of material misstatement. Fourth, determine which transaction-based controls compensate for entity level control failure. Okay. Fifth one, determine nature, timing and extent of evidence gathering tests needed to complete the assessment of internal controls. ठीक है. This is notes of, what is the date? 14th ना? Rachita, 14th ना?
Yes, sir.
14 September. So, क्या पकड़ा टन्ना है? Insignificant. That's your answer, boss. Super. कर ले भाई तू forensic audit.
हाँ ना सर?
नहीं नहीं नहीं, ऐसा एक मजाक कर रहा हूँ। फॉरेंसिक ऑडिट बहुत बड़ा एरिया है, अच्छा लगे तो ही करना। पता चला करने चली गई, बाद में मेरे को ढूंढ रही है, किधर गया साला, बोला करने के लिए। ये सब भी है इसमें, वेरी डीप एरिया। चलो स्क्रीनशॉट ले लो, स्क्रीनशॉट ले लो। ये सारे बीसीडी है इसमें। मारूफ, कंफर्टेबल ना? नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन 53। हाँ कसम, बड़ा बड़ा ऐसा देखता हूँ ना मैं ये, मेरे को ना स्टूडेंट डरते हैं, मेरे को हंसने को आता है, क्योंकि कोई कोई इसमें ना एब्सोल्युटली कचरा लिखते हैं वो लोग, पता है क्या? एब्सोल्यूट गार्बेज दैट दे राइट। Which of the following functions performed is in violation of internal control? Fantastic question. A mail clerk opening the mail compares the check received with the source document accompanying the payroll, notes the amount paid and forwards it to the checks daily for the cashier for deposit. He saw the check, he put a tick mark against the amount and he sent it ahead. He has checked it and sent ahead. There is no segregation of duties issue over here. So rather I will say SOD is followed. So this is not a violation. Next, opening the mail, compares the check with the source document, accompanies the payment, notes the amount paid, forwards the source document that accompany the payment. Again, there is SOD is followed with proper documentation. SOD is followed with proper documentation. Why? See, he opens the mail, he compares the check with the source document, means amount received is being compared with invoice. He notes the amount paid and forwards the source document to the payments along with accounts receivable on a daily basis. He does this every day. Cashier prepares a deposit slip for all the cash receipts. He is only preparing a deposit slip. So he can make a deposit slip of a lower amount of money, right? He will receive 1000. What if he makes a deposit slip of 800? I'll take realistic figures. 200 रुपया कोई नहीं चुराता है. Cash receipt is say 12 lakhs. And he has made slips of say 8 lakhs. He is only preparing the slip and he is only receiving the cash. There is no segregation of duties. There is no segregation of duties. So this is clearly a violation of internal control. What is this? Violation. General ledger clerk compiles the summary of journal entry. He is seeing the journal entry summary, receipt from the cashier, applicable to outstanding accounts. That's it. With the batch total for posting it. They have just given big words to confuse you. This is just reading a journal entry. So over here, your answer should be, the answer should be C. Why? Because there is no segregation of duties. Here there is a chart I'd like to give you. The chart is, so that you understand this carefully. Here what does the cashier do? He collects the cash. If a person other than cashier prepares a deposit slip, then segregation of duty is followed. Hello, it is followed. Internal control, no violation. But now cash, collection and deposit, by one person, or rather I will use the word by the same person in segregation of duties does not exist. What am I talking? Segregation of duties does not exist. Are you with me on that?
Yes.
This is clearly an internal control violation. Question 53, MCQ number 112 from Baker. Please take a screenshot. Taken? Yes or no?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Finished. I finished all 53 MCQs. Done.